doesn't that intro make you want to dance and have some fun? I'm excited to talk to you guys today. We have a bunch of best tips for you. We're going to go through several, so get your pen, get your paper, make some notes. We're going to have a lot of fun. It's Friday. We have a lot of great stuff to talk about. I've been finishing up a beautiful lunch here. Literally just greens, papaya, mangoes. There's a best tip. Keep your meals simple. Tune in to my Simple Meals show every Wednesday. Same place, all right? Right here. Wherever you're watching this, you can watch that show as well. 1 p.m. Eastern, we make simple meals together. And next week, I have a special guest. It's going to be one of our coaches. I forget exactly who's joining, but every single one of our coaches are just amazing people, incredible knowledge. So we're going to have fun. Now, in the chat box, I want you guys to actually write down what is your favorite simple meal, also known as a go-to meal, okay? So that's right. Tune into that show every Wednesday, 1 p.m. Eastern. But I want to talk about this, okay? This is the first best tip that we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about creating simple meals, okay? And then I'm going to show you how you can also boost the antioxidant power of that meal with amla green. But the first tip is this also comes from our book, all right? So Master Diabetes book, I'm holding the hardcover right now, but it just came out in paperback version, all right? So you can get it, save some money by getting the paperback from Amazon or from your local bookstore. But one of the topics in this book is go-to meals, all right? Go-to meals are meals that you know that you love, okay? They're very simple for you to make. You've had them before. You know exactly where to buy those ingredients in the grocery store. You know how to acquire those ingredients. You know how to make that meal. It's just a go-to meal. If you're living with any form of insulin-dependent diabetes, you know exactly how much insulin you need for that meal because you have had it many times over and over and over again. So go-to meals are really important. They can save you a lot of time. And I'm seeing some great ones come in here. So mashed potatoes and gravy. There you go. That's super simple. I like that. Okay. So I want more people to share your favorite simple meal. We have a taco from Tanny. I like that. A taco. Okay. So this is a perfect example for me. Like this meal, I have this year round all the time. Mangoes, papayas, and greens. I can get those ingredients all year round. It's very simple. And again, I'm confident in my insulin dosing as a person living with type 1 diabetes. All right. So I'd love for you guys to share yours. On our Wednesday show, I have made many, many simple meals. And there's a ton you can always go back and just watch in the archive. But we'll be sharing more recipes coming up. We have a comment here, just oats, simple oats. That's great. Apple, blackberry, lettuce, and cinnamon. That's fantastic, Ruth. I love that. Very good. Berry and pineapple salad. All right. I love this. Good stuff, guys. All right. Simple go-to meal. So that's tip number one. Okay. Write that down. Tip number one, you got to establish. I would suggest establishing 5 and writing them down, being aware of what they are, and really, orienting your life around making sure you always have those ingredients. You can go to them and have that in the back of your mind. This is something you can always go to anytime necessary. Okay. Go-to meals. All right. Tip number 2, you can add amla green to any of your favorite go-to meals. Okay. You can consume amla green as a tea. You can blend it up in a smoothie. You can put it in a sauce. You can also just put it right on top of a meal. So I already had my amla green hibiscus today in my morning smoothie. Okay. So if I wanted to, I could just take a scoop and put it right here on top of the salad. I could easily have done that. And just so you know, like the scoop, it's super small. Okay. That's it right here. It's just this little scoop. Okay. You just go in here. Boom. It smells so good. I wish you guys could smell that. And you just grab a scoop and you pour it in. It's super simple. Make sure to refrigerate your amla green. And so I'll put mine back in the refrigerator once I'm done with this show. But this is the world's most powerful antioxidant-rich whole food right there, that berry, okay? That very fluorescent green, that's the amla berry, also known as Indian gooseberry. And the problem here is that it is very sour, okay? That's why you don't see this berry sold at the grocery store next to the blackberries, because it's not easy to eat on its own. It's not that enjoyable. But it happens to be the most antioxidant-rich whole food on the planet. It's the most antioxidant-rich fruit that exists. This is the amla berry. And so what we've done is we've made it palatable and combined it with other powerful medicinal plants. All right. So this particular product, the hibiscus, includes number 1, organic hibiscus, number 2, organic amla fruit, then organic ginger root, organic cinnamon bark, organic mint leaf. That is it. There are no additives, there are no preservatives, there's no flavor agents, there's no chemicals to make it dissolve better. It is just a clean, simple, powerful tea that we highly recommend you consume and get in your body. 1 serving per day is the recommendation. Now, we have an exciting new flavor coming, and you can pre-order. It's called pumpkin spice. Pumpkin spice amla green is available for pre-order. And so I highly suggest you do that, because we're likely going to run out of the first inventory order that we've made. So you gotta secure your order, and you can do that. And there is a discount right now, especially for buying the bundle right away. So you'll secure your opportunity to get this. And if you go to amlagreen.com/pumpkin that you see on the screen, you will get a free recipe guide. And this recipe guide is a lot of fun. There's some holiday treats in here, and it will show you how you can get pumpkin spice into your life, how you can boost the antioxidant power of your meals, and how you can enjoy fall produce items, okay? And there's a lot of pumpkin recipes in here, and it's just flat out a lot of fun. So really enjoy that. Again, there's a lot of treats in there that you might not see normally on our website. So check it out. Okay, I am allergic to ginger. Which one would work? Okay, so if you're allergic to ginger, best if you can pull up the original amla green. So there's an amla green decaf, and there we go. So it's those 2 bottles. There's the one on the left, amla green regular, then the one in the middle says amla green decaf. That was the original version that we created, and it's amla berries plus oolong green tea, and that's it. So oolong green tea has a very small amount of caffeine, a much safer amount than a lot of other products that are just loaded with too much caffeine. And then the decaf version, the green tea has been decaffeinated. So you have amla berries and then decaffeinated green tea. That's it. Just those 2 ingredients. Very clean, very simple. This is meant to be an item that is delicious, that you get to enjoy, but is medicinally powerful. It's a medicinal plant, okay? And so there's ages and ages of documentation on the benefits of foods like, green tea and hibiscus, or drinks like green tea and hibiscus tea and ginger. Like, these foods are powerful, and this is an easy way to get them in. And I love seeing these simple meals on the screen. Black beans, brown rice, that's great. How do you get it in the UK? Ruth, we do ship internationally. So I recommend you actually make a sort of like a bulk order. So you only have to pay for that shipping once, and then set yourself up for, at least a year's worth of amla green. But you can pick international shipping on the website. So you're all set up there. All right. So we have talked about the go-to meals. We've talked about how you can add amla green to boost the power of those meals. All right. And now we should talk about the the Blood Sugar Revolution Summit, okay? Formerly known as the Mastering Diabetes Online Summit. Now we have brought in an amazing number of experts. And this year, the 2022 Blood Sugar Revolution Summit is our best summit yet. Every year they get better and better. We bring in more amazing speakers on a wide range of topics. And as you can see on the screen, I'm going to read this, okay? It says, discover how to lower your fasting blood sugar and A1C, lose weight permanently, gain energy, clear brain fog, and stop yo-yo dieting by fixing one thing: insulin resistance. So throughout this summit, it's free. Okay, first off, the whole thing is free. So you just join now. You click I'm sure Bess will put a link in the chat box so you can click that to register. It's a long link, so just click the link. And you get a chance to learn from an incredible range of experts, all talking about a common approach. That's what's been so fascinating as we conduct these interviews, and Cyrus and I get to learn so much ourselves while doing these interviews, is the commonality between these different speakers who are trained in different specialties, have obviously worked with their own population, have had their own, career and experience. Seeing them all come together in their own interviews, say the same things, the commonalities, the common principles of what it takes to prevent and reverse chronic disease, what it takes to maintain insulin sensitivity if you're already there, or reverse insulin resistance if you're not insulin sensitive. The commonalities is what I want you to witness with your own ears, all right, and your own eyes. It really experience that, because as you hear these same things said in a different way from these world-renowned experts, it starts to click. And we also provide a lot of practical advice throughout this summit. So there's an entire day that's dedicated to practical advice. But as you can see on the screen here, we have gut health experts, okay? Then we have a whole section on how to protect your heart, liver, kidneys, and mind. Sean Hashmi, incredible interview. Brian Asbell is a cardiologist. Columbus Batiste is a cardiologist. And don't forget, the number one cause of death for people living with all forms of diabetes is heart disease. So that's an important day. Unlocking the most powerful keys to longevity. That's day 5. Jason Prawl, Dan Buettner, Luke Tan. You guys are going to love this information. And again, it's free. So all you got to do is click the link in the comment section, and then you will register. You'll be registered. And the event will start on November 2nd. All right. It's going to go through the 9th. You're going to get these interviews. You're going to get an email each day inviting you to come and watch the broadcast. All right. So it's going to be a heck of a lot of fun. We also will be, there we go. Day 8, keynote presentation, John Mackey. This was a fascinating conversation where we got to talk about the future of healthcare. And John Mackey, for those of you who don't know, he is the founder and former CEO of Whole Foods. And he talks a lot about what he's doing next and how he's going to be personally impacting the future of healthcare and his vision. And it's a really, really wonderful interview. If you just registered just to hear that, I think you would be pretty happy with your choice. So don't forget to check that out. Again, it starts November 2nd, but register today, get started. And then there's also, we'll send you like preview information and a lot of stuff to get ready for the summit. And like I said, we're going to do live webinars. So on the live webinars, we will answer your questions, and we will actually be calling some of you. So we love doing these live interactions. We just get on the phone, we call you, we talk, we answer questions, and we have a lot of fun. So I love seeing in the comments everybody who's registered. You guys are on a stellar team along with Dr. Esselstyn's family and Chef AJ. We are grateful. That's fantastic. I love it. Marilyn, wonderful. Okay. So if there's any questions, let's see if I have any starred comments here. Hello, Robbie. How do you handle 3 to 4 a.m. hypoglycemia? I have recently tried single slice of bread with peanut butter or mixed nut seed butter, and it seems to work. So it says hypoglycemia. Sorry. So Peter, let me know, what type of diabetes are you living with? And let's see if we can have a beneficial conversation here. So I'll look for your answer and then we'll get back to it. Is that what you eat to reverse diabetes? This right here, that would absolutely be a great meal for reversing insulin resistance. All right. I do like to clarify this comment because some people get confused about reversing quote unquote diabetes. There's many forms of diabetes. There are type 1 diabetes. Cyrus and I are both living with type 1. We don't currently have a consistent, repeatable solution to reverse type 1 diabetes. Type 1.5 diabetes, just like type 1, is an autoimmune condition, and that we don't know how to reverse either. Now, prediabetes, that I will say is reversible in just about 100% of cases. Okay, prediabetes, you're catching the condition early enough, and you can turn that around. Type 2 diabetes, it's possible that somebody has been living with type 2 diabetes for a very long time, and their beta cells have gotten exhausted, and a certain population of beta cells have essentially died off, and they might not be able to produce a sufficient quantity of insulin. This is all covered in our book, and we talk about insulin-dependent type 2 diabetes. And as you can see on the cover, we do like to make a distinction between the various forms of diabetes and the nuances and how they can be addressed in our book, in our coaching program. So the devil's in the details. We love that here at Mastering Diabetes. That is why our coaching program is something we're so passionate about and so proud of. And our coaching team is the nuances. So yes, in most cases, you can reverse prediabetes. In most cases, you can reverse type 2 diabetes. But if you can't, that's okay. It's okay if you're in one of these conditions where you still require insulin, you can absolutely live an amazing life. Okay? No question. All right, let's go to the next one. Hello, all. I am trying to figure out how to combat high cholesterol without having to eat a bowl of oatmeal every morning. Any suggestions? Okay, so Bridget, I don't know you yet. Hopefully, maybe I can get to know you through interacting during our summit or maybe being a member of our coaching program. But what I'm hearing here is that you have high cholesterol, but you're resistant to doing lifestyle changes that you know are going to address your high cholesterol. So I think at some point, you got to be open to understanding that shortcuts and pills and treatments aren't actually a solution. Like, you have to be willing to make lifestyle changes, address the root cause, and you can lower your cholesterol. So our book, we have a bunch of recipes in here. We have 2 21-day meal plans, over 30 recipes in the book, and they're delicious. And so I encourage you, you don't want to eat oatmeal, that's fine. You could have let me find a fruit breakfast for you in this book, right? There's a lot of different breakfast meals. Let's see what we got here. Okay. So meal plans and recipes, that starts on page, chapter 15. That would be page 311. Okay. Meal plans and recipes. All right. So let's go here and let's look at this. Okay. How about for breakfast, you could have Robby's Antioxidant Delight. All right. So that is strawberries, blueberries, blackberries, apples, an orange, and some ground flax seeds. All right. You could have Cyrus's quinoa special. All right. How about that for breakfast? That's quinoa, an apple, blackberries, strawberries, flax seeds, and some cinnamon or cardamom to taste. Or you could have the Mexican bean breakfast skillet. You could have cauliflower breakfast scramble. You could have the garden breakfast pan. That one has a shallot, a bell pepper, green peas, baby spinach, beans, carrots, black pepper, and flax seeds. So we got a ton of breakfast meals. We publish a new recipe on our website every week. You can go look at those recipes. But my suggestion is to learn the cause of why you have high cholesterol. You can learn that in this book, and then start eating recipes that are going to address it. And that's the foundation. Now, could there be something about like familial high cholesterol? Could there be other things? Sure. We would get into those nuances in our coaching program, but you have to have the foundation. The foundation is the Mastering Diabetes method, the low-fat, plant-based, whole food diet, plus movement, plus intermittent fasting, if that's something you want to do, and plus like documentation of your daily habits. Okay. All right. Let's see. Hello, Robby. How do you handle, oh, I already did that one. Okay. Do you take insulin with your fruits? I realize when I do suffer from lows. Okay. So I'm living with type 1 diabetes. I take insulin anytime I want to eat any significant amount of carbohydrate, whether that's a breakfast, a lunch, a dinner, whether that's a snack, whether that's I want to drink a glass of coconut water. My body does not produce any insulin. I have gotten a C-peptide test. It's less than 0.01. I have an undetectable amount of insulin being produced inside my pancreas. Therefore, I have to inject insulin. And that's okay. So yes, I take insulin, people who follow our program, they go get a C-peptide test. They find out that they're producing plenty of insulin, and maybe they're living with type 2 and they were put on external exogenous insulin. Okay. They were told to inject insulin. They come on our program. They become more insulin sensitive. Eating fruit being a big part of this, they can stop taking the insulin from the outside world and just use the endogenous insulin that their body produces. Okay. So Dwayne, we'd love to help you. All right. Understand what are the C-peptide tests. That's important. Really, understanding what type of diabetes you're living with, and we can help you. Okay. What is more important, to intermittent fast or eat a evening meal? So this is going to depend on your goals, what you're trying to achieve. Are you trying to lose weight? Are you struggling with high readings in the morning? Are you training for a special athletic event and you need those calories in your evening meal? It's going to be nuanced. So it's hard to just straight up answer that question, but I hope you consider joining our coaching program for help. All right. So thankful I found Mastering Diabetes. It has completely changed my relationship with food. My fasting blood glucose is now around 85 to 95 since I started the program. Leah, that's fantastic. Congratulations. Keep going. I love that. I'm a 33-year-old healthy male who just got diagnosed with LADA, 10.4 A1C. So LADA is also known as type 1.5 diabetes, latent autoimmune diabetes in adults. I'm on 8 units of basal insulin once per day since Tuesday. What's the best way to transition into the MD diet without seeing spikes in blood glucose? Okay, Troy, I'm so glad you found us and you have good information, because we consider ourselves very, very well versed in LADA, type 1.5 diabetes. We've had a lot of experience, and it's unfortunate how much that is being misdiagnosed and just completely missed by so many people in the medical profession. It's unfortunate. But the best thing you can do is fill out decision trees. That's the best thing you can do. Again, we talk about it in the book. We teach it in detail, line by line. So some examples. So if I get that on camera, that's like an example in the book. And we describe line by line how that decision tree was filled out in the book. So you got to learn your ratios. You got to learn how certain foods are impacting your blood glucose control, your insulin requirements. If you're only on basal, actually, I should think about that. If you're only on basal, then you're not going to necessarily need to focus on your ratios. So you're only on basal, you're trying to avoid spikes. So you might want to consider when it's time to add in a small amount of bolus insulin. Again, there's so many nuances here. Everybody's different. It's not a cookie cutter approach to really any form of diabetes, but especially not LADA. So you got to, so the decision tree can help with documenting how high those spikes are going. You can begin to be more diligent about eating slowly and eating each meal with greens and non-starchy vegetables. But there really is going to be that nuanced situation of when to start adding bolus insulin and when you don't. So you need a coach, you need a doctor. If you're looking for a doctor who really understands this, plant-based telehealth is the place to go. Plantbasedtelehealth.com. They work closely with our team, and they are also masters at type 1.5 diabetes and helping you understand when it's time to adjust your medications. And they do a great job of really, really being in touch with you about the details. Like most doctors, I know, for example, my diabetes doctor that I would see at UCLA when I lived in Santa Monica. This is before I started working directly with a plant-based telehealth doctor, which is now who I work with. But before then, I would go to this UCLA doctor. Of course, insurance would pay for it, but the price was over $500 for the appointment. I spent 15 minutes, and that's the only interaction we had. I mean, I saw him every 3 months or so. That's it. There's so many details you need help with, and the plant-based telehealth team, they're going to help you. They're going to be in touch with you through your portal. They might get you on a CGM to help make some decisions. So really putting the right team in place is key to success here. No question. What should be the breakfast? Okay, I'm what they call skinny fat with high fasting glucose only and A1C now 5.6. My doctor does not seem, I don't know what they call skinny fat. Okay. I question that phrase, and I would recommend getting a C-peptide test. I'd recommend getting a C-peptide test. If you are genuinely at a healthy weight or potentially underweight and still seeing blood glucose challenges, a C-peptide test is a great place to start. There are, of course, other things to look at, other nuanced details that could be addressed as to why your blood glucose might be a little higher. 5.6 technically puts you in the non-diabetic range. So there's things to explore there. But for anybody, and this is a general sound principle here, for anybody who is at a healthy weight or underweight and is experiencing blood glucose elevations that don't make sense, get a C-peptide test. It's worth it. You can pay out of pocket. You don't need a doctor's prescription. You just go to any lab. Requestatest.com is the easiest place to go to just order this test. You can get that through that link that Bess has been sharing and showing on the screen. But it's really, really valuable information. Okay. I think we have one more question, and then we'll call it a day. So what should be the breakfast for a diabetic patient who is a heart patient too? Okay, great question. The answer is they're going to be the same. It's going to be the same. So you could follow all the principles in this book, and we have a wonderful, wonderful section inside chapter 7 where we compare a ketogenic diet to a low-fat, plant-based whole food diet. And let's see here. Okay, page 139, heart disease and a low-fat, plant-based whole food diet. One of my favorite sections of this book. We cover a lot of research. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's 6 pages. It's like 5 pages. Amazing research, and we demonstrate how this approach, the exact principles that are being demonstrated and discussed in this book, and the recipes are the same principles that research has shown to reverse heart disease. Okay, so a lot of great research is covered in that section, and you're in the right place. So definitely check out that book, and there's more books you could read as well. So you could read Prevent and Reverse Heart Disease by Dr. Esselstyn. They have a bunch of recipes, and that's a great place to start. So our book, and then Prevent and Reverse Heart Disease. And, we have a great quote from Dr. Esselstyn. It's right on the back of the book, okay? So he's the author of Prevent and Reverse Heart Disease. His quote is, Cyrus Kambata and Robby Barbero have translated their encyclopedic knowledge of diabetes care and management into a vocabulary that all readers may grasp. Their skill makes diabetes vanish or become a manageable companion. All right. So big fans of Dr. Esselstyn. Great information. So thank you, everybody, for showing up today. I really hope to see you at the summit. Go and register right now. There's, again, best to put the link in the chat box. We're going to start on November 2nd. And there's a lot of bonuses that you're going to receive for joining. I should have talked about the bonuses. A bunch of recipes, bunch of amazing guides from our speakers. So you get all that information when you register, and you can start taking advantage of it. All right. So I see this last question that came in. What's the website for the C-peptide test? So it's called requestatest.com. Just Google request a test. 3 words, request a test. That's the website. You could either call them on the phone, or you could just type in C-peptide into the search bar, and you're going to pay I think it's $69 out of pocket. They're going to send the test to LabCorp or Quest. You're going to show up. You're going to get the test. They're going to put it in they're going to email it to you in a few days, and boom, you have this very important information. Or you could contact your doctor, have them order it, get insurance to cover it. That's a great solution as well. It might take a little longer, but either way, for a majority of people, this test is necessary. We titled it the most important test for diabetes on our website, and we stand by that. And it's a test just worth getting. Okay. All right. Thank you all for joining. Again, don't remember, don't forget, don't forget, tip number 1, the Simple Meals Show. Okay. Every Wednesday, 1 p.m. Eastern. All right. Don't forget that. And then number 2, put this medicinal plant into your meals, into your simple meals, your go-to meals. All right. Okay. And then the other tip is join the summit. Okay. And purchase the soft cover book. It's cheaper and it's going to change your life. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. I'll see you on Wednesday. Have a great weekend.